500 years ago, Machiavelli wrote secrets about power and control that most people will never understand. But hidden in his work are psychological strategies so powerful, so effective, that they still control human behavior today. What I'm about to reveal about influence and feminine psychology will change everything you thought you knew about attraction and power dynamics. This is not for the weak-minded. Before we begin, this is educational content about understanding power dynamics and influence psychology. These are strategies used throughout history by leaders, rulers, and those who understood human nature at its deepest level. Machiavelli understood something fundamental. Humans respond to power, mystery, and calculated behavior. And when you understand these principles, you understand influence itself. Let's break down the psychology that's been hidden in plain sight for centuries. Principle number 1. The power of calculated absence. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But there's a deeper truth here about scarcity and value. Here's the dark psychology. Constant presence breeds contempt. When you're always available, always accessible, always responding immediately, you become predictable, and predictability kills desire. Machiavelli understood that absence increases value. When you strategically withdraw your attention, your time, your presence, you create scarcity, and humans desire what they cannot easily have. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding supply and demand applied to human attention. The moment you become scarce, you become valuable. When she can't predict your availability, she starts investing more mental energy trying to secure it. The application? Don't be constantly available. Have a life, a mission, priorities that sometimes come before her. Your unpredictability creates intrigue. Your absence makes your presence more impactful. This is fundamental Machiavellian strategy, control through strategic withdrawal. Principle 2. Emotional detachment as power. Machiavelli advised, "The wise man does everything for himself and expects nothing from others." Here's what most men get catastrophically wrong. They become emotionally invested too quickly. They need validation, reassurance, reciprocation. This neediness is the opposite of power. Dark psychology reveals that emotional detachment is magnetic. When you're not desperate for her approval, not anxious about her responses, not needy for her validation, you occupy a position of strength. This doesn't mean being cold or unfeeling, it means being outcome independent. You're interested but not attached. You enjoy her company, but don't require it. You appreciate her, but don't need her to complete you. Machiavelli understood that the moment you need something from someone, they control you. The moment you become emotionally self-sufficient, you become powerful. The application? Cultivate genuine emotional independence. Build a life so fulfilling that her presence is a bonus, not a necessity. When she senses you don't need her validation, she'll work to earn it. When she feels you're complete without her, she'll want to be part of your completeness. This is power through self-sufficiency. Principle 3. The strategic use of reward and withdrawal. This is pure Machiavellian conditioning psychology. Machiavelli wrote about keeping people uncertain, never letting them predict your moves. Applied to relationships, this means variable reinforcement, the most powerful behavioral conditioning tool in psychology. Here's how it works. When you reward behavior inconsistently, it creates stronger attachment than consistent reward. Think of slot machines. People become addicted because they can't predict when the reward comes. Dark psychology in action. Don't respond to her the same way every time. Sometimes you're warm and engaged. Sometimes you're busy and distant. Not in a cruel way, but in an unpredictable way. When she does something you appreciate, sometimes you acknowledge it enthusiastically. Other times, you barely react. This unpredictability keeps her analyzing your responses, trying to figure out what gets your attention. Machiavelli knew that predictable people are forgettable. Unpredictable people are unforgettable. The application? Vary your responses. Don't establish predictable patterns. Keep her slightly uncertain about where she stands. This uncertainty drives investment. She'll work harder to secure consistent positive responses from you, giving you behavioral control without overt manipulation. Principle 4. Maintaining mystery and inscrutability. Machiavelli advised, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Most men make this fatal mistake. They reveal everything too quickly. They're an open book. They explain their feelings, their past, their insecurities, their entire life story within weeks. Dark psychology principle. Mystery creates obsession. The human mind cannot resist trying to solve puzzles. When you're completely transparent, there's nothing to figure out. When you're mysterious, she becomes mentally obsessed with understanding you. Machiavelli understood that power requires inscrutability. When people can't fully read you, can't predict you, can't categorize you, they remain engaged, trying to solve the puzzle. This doesn't mean being fake or dishonest. It means revealing yourself slowly, strategically. It means maintaining layers that take time to discover. It means never being completely predictable or fully understood. As you become less predictable, she becomes less forgettable. The application? Don't overshare. Keep parts of your life, your thoughts, your past mysterious. Let her discover you gradually. Answer questions, but not exhaustively. Share stories, but not your complete history. The less she fully knows, the more she wants to know. Mystery is magnetic. Transparency is forgettable. Principle 5. The illusion of choice. This is pure Machiavellian genius applied to influence. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims." Here's the dark psychology. People need to feel like they're making their own decisions. Direct control creates resistance. The illusion of choice creates compliance. Instead of telling her what to do, you present options where all outcomes benefit you. Instead of demanding her time, you suggest options that fit your schedule. Instead of being controlling, you structure situations where she chooses what you want. This is manipulation at its finest, making her think every decision is hers while you're actually guiding the outcomes. Machiavelli understood that the best control is invisible control. For example, instead of saying, "Come over tonight," you say, "I'm free Tuesday or Thursday evening, which works better for you." She feels like she's making the decision, but you've already limited the options to what suits you. The application? Always present controlled options. Frame your desires as suggestions. Guide outcomes while maintaining the appearance that she's in control. Real power is when she thinks she's making all the decisions, but somehow everything ends up favoring your frame. Now here's what Machiavelli also understood, and this is critical. These strategies only work when backed by genuine value. You cannot fake power. You cannot manipulate your way into lasting respect. These principles work because they reflect actual high-value behavior, being outcome-independent, having a strong frame, maintaining standards, being unpredictable because you have options. If you try to apply these tactics from a place of weakness, insecurity, or manipulation, they will backfire. She'll see through it. Everyone will. The real Machiavellian wisdom is this: build yourself into someone of genuine value first. Then, these principles simply become how you naturally operate. They're not tricks. They're the behavioral patterns of a man who knows his worth. Use this knowledge responsibly. Understand that real power comes from genuine strength, not manipulation. Machiavelli wrote about control, yes, but he also wrote about virtue, strength, and the importance of having something worth protecting. So there you have it, 5 Machiavellian principles applied to modern psychology and influence. These strategies have controlled human behavior for centuries because they tap into fundamental psychological truths. But remember, knowledge is neutral. It's how you use it that defines your character. Use these principles to become stronger, not to harm others. Build yourself into someone of genuine value, then let these strategies naturally emerge from your self-respect. Drop a comment. Which principle resonated most? And if this opened your eyes to the psychology of power and influence, hit that like button and subscribe to Behind the Mind for more content on dark psychology, influence, and human behavior. Stay powerful, stay ethical, and remember, true control starts with controlling yourself.